Today I'm going to tell you about my day in Newport Rhode Island, and I did learn some things that I think will be really helpful if you have a cruise scheduled to New England and you make a port stop there in Newport Rhode Island. Also, I've got some cruise news for you, as well as just an update about how everything is going here on the beautiful Emerald Princess. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips, and today is Monday. It is September 18th of 2023. And first of all, will you please subscribe to our channel? And if you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? The reason that I ask every day is it actually matters to YouTube, how many subscribers we have and how many thumbs up we get on our videos for them to want to offer our video to new viewers, and hopefully more people will come on board and become part of our Let's Go family. Now yesterday, on Sunday, September 17th, that is the day that I was in Newport. So like I said, I learned a lot and I'm going to share it with you, but I wanted to tell you two important news stories here super fast because they matter to all of us when we think about cruising and things to expect and what to look for. The first thing that last night during our live, and if you are missing our sailaways, you might want to go take a look, because as we sailed out of New York City on Saturday and then again out of Newport yesterday, it was just spectacular. We could not have asked for more beautiful weather in those places. So last night during our live, one of our Let's Go family members pointed out that there are some changes with internet and what might become available on cruise ships. So it made me look into things and see what's going on. So historically, well, always cruise ships need to use satellites for internet. And the way that they do that is they contract with a provider and use their satellites. Historically, they used ones that were that rotated a higher level further away from the Earth. So when Starlink came along, it was a really big deal because their satellites orbit closer to the Earth. And so you have, just overall in layman's terms, you generally have better, faster Wi-Fi. Now, the two companies that do this, so there's Starlink, and the other one that's been doing it much longer is SES, I believe is the name, and looks like they are going to partner. Now, cruise ships have not announced yet if they are going to come on board with this partnership, but by partnering together, they are going to really provide the best of both worlds. They're going to have the satellites that rotate closer to the Earth and the satellites that are up a little bit higher. And together that should really give the best product, is what everyone is hoping. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it goes. How is the Wi-Fi on the Emerald Princess? It's really good. And if you are someone that likes to watch videos, if you have very secure websites to log into, that if your Wi-Fi is really weak, it's not going to let you, you're going to be in great shape here on the Emerald Princess and on all the princess ships that Gordon and I have been on lately. I believe that all of the cruise ships now, all of the princess cruise ships have Starlink. I could easily be wrong, but that's what word is. So, and it is light years ahead of where we were before they got Starlink. My devices are staying connected. My phone on the Wi-Fi of the ship is not coming off. It's staying very well connected. And also my laptop stays connected. I can shut it and come back later, open it, and we're still connected to the Wi-Fi. I just pick up where I left off just like I do at home. So that is excellent. The download speed is fine. I need to do that and tell you the exact number, and I'll remember to do that, but the upload speed is really slow. So it's not really working for me to upload my videos so that Gordon can get them and edit them. So I'm just doing that when we're in port with a hotspot on my phone. It just works really well that way. So that's what we're going to be doing. I know that that is not going to work on a transatlantic. It would have to sit there for hours to be able to do that. But we've got lots of ports on this cruise and it's no big deal. So that's what I'm doing. Now, the next thing that I wanted, and do put your questions below. If you've got questions, don't hesitate to ask. And then also when it comes to itineraries. So far, you know what, we have not had any itinerary changes, and based on the weather, I don't think that we will have any itinerary changes. Of course, itineraries can change for a lot of reasons, but so far ours is looking good. However, the Carnival Luminosa set sail expecting to go to ports there in Alaska and then head on a Trans-Pacific over to Asia. Go visit some ports in Asia, and that cruise ends in Australia. Because of weather in Alaska, they are going to miss all of their ports, which is really hard. I feel bad for them. At the same time, they get to have 2 new ports in Japan. Carnival has added 2 additional ports, so they'll be able to visit all the ports that they expected to visit in Asia before they head to Australia, as well as 2 extra. So I would say I think that's a lovely addition to that cruise. The reason that I think this is a big deal is a few reasons. First of all, just if you have not been on a cruise or you haven't cruised enough to know, itineraries really can change, like I said, for a lot of reasons, but weather plays a really big role in that. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. So the Carnival Luminosa, those people are just going to have a beautiful Trans-Pacific and just skip Alaska because there is a heavy storm there. Now, we have an update from someone on the Majestic Princess, and it plays a little bit into the time of year that we are. Now, if you ask me about when I think is the best time to go on an Alaskan cruise, I will always tell you the middle of the summer, because that during the middle of the summer is high summer, and you have less chance for poor weather. If you go really early in the season or really late, of course, you have a little bit more chance for poor weather. Now, is it always that way? No, sometimes people go in May or September and the weather is perfect, but often right in the middle of the summer there in July, if you're just gonna go one time, definitely go in the middle of the summer. However, sometimes it works really well with schedules to go at another time, and Let's Go family members just barely got off the Majestic Princess, and they did a land tour first, and then they got on the ship, and he was kind enough to send me some updates, because here's some things that I really do believe are going to play in more and more to whether or not people are going to be wanting to go, especially on cruise tours in September. And by the way, this was these people's very first cruise with Princess, and it's their last. So let me tell you what happened. So first of all, they arrived there in Alaska and their luggage doesn't make it with them. And so they go on their cruise tour portion of their cruise. It's a 5-day cruise tour, and things are going okay. The train ride was beautiful. They really enjoyed the lodges, except for when they got to the McKinley Lodge. Now, McKinley Lodge was severely understaffed, and the reason they said, that Princess said, was because the college students had gone back to school. Come to find out, they got to the lodge there at about 4:30 in the afternoon. They said, your rooms aren't ready yet, so go to the social, go to dinner. Finally, some of the rooms were ready at about 9 p.m. And some of these people, travel companions, just ended up changing their own sheets and cleaning their own room because there was not staff to do it. So I really think that when this happens, clearly cruise lines, whichever one it is, needs to close that lodge. They also said that the menus were very limited, and it seemed like they were kind of rationing some of the food a little bit to try to make it last to the end of the season. So my suggestion, no cruise tour in September, because there are too many variables there. Not only do you have the weather variable, but you also have, are they going to have enough staff? If you've not been to Alaska before, a lot of the workers that run excursions, that run things in the actual ports and up at the lodge, a lot of them are college students. Anyone can apply for those jobs, and I maybe will. I really would love to be a bus driver in Alaska for a season. I think that would be a lot of fun, but I don't know if we will or not once we retire. But I wanted to just let you know that think of some of these things. The other glitch they had that really wasn't very smooth is their luggage didn't make it ever to the lodge. And when they finally got back to the hotel at the Captain Cook Hotel there in Anchorage, their luggage was there, but it was very, very damaged. And so it started off that they could either have a duffel from Princess to put their stuff in, or they had duct tape. They could tape it up if they wanted to be able to get home, or they could go to JCPenney and buy a new suitcase. In the end, they ended up duct taping up their bag to get it home, and then Air Canada reimbursed them with a check to their home. The only thing that didn't go smoothly about that really was the fact that the luggage never made it to them over at the lodge. And then also they were hoping that Princess would give them a little bit of help how to get over to Penny's, and that's just not a thing that they did. And so, like I said, they were able to duct tape up. And I know it's not Princess's fault that the luggage was damaged. When we went on our Antarctica cruise, when we landed in Buenos Aires, Gordon's suitcase was very damaged. And so we just duct taped it up until we got home. And our room steward was really kind and helped with that a little bit because he saw what was going on. Now, the other things that he commented on was the food. He said the food was fine, just fine, but he said when they ate at different places around the ship, it was the same food, just renamed. So, you know, it's made me think a lot about what my expectations are. I've cruised on Princess enough long before I ever thought of actually doing YouTube. I wanted to do it forever, but long before I thought I would, we've been cruising, and we have cruised with Princess so many times just because we enjoyed and enjoy the experience. And at the same time though, I think I've had my expectations tempered a little bit by doing it over time, and it's really made me stand back and think about the things that if it was my first time, I would be like, oh, why is that the way? Or things that I'd be like, wow, that's amazing. So put below some of the things that you think you've become accustomed to, maybe some things that we all need to take another look at and either be excited about them again or really stand back and say, you know, I don't think that's as good as I would like it to be. And then you just have to decide what you're going to do about it. All right, so yesterday, well, this is really early in the morning on Monday morning, and yesterday I was in Newport, Rhode Island, and a few things. First of all, it is a tender port. They anchor the ship way far out by the bridge, and then you kind of come around and hook into the harbor and come up to the wharf, the pier that way. Now, with doing that, it makes it so the tender ride is about a half an hour long. It's beautiful. And yesterday we had a day that was spectacular. It was sunny, the breeze was gentle, and it was in the high 70s. I don't know if it hit 80 or not, but it was beautiful. When you go to Newport, there is a free trolley that goes around. It goes around the town area, and then it does go out to the mansions area because that's what a lot of people really like to see there in Newport. Now, the way you get there, I have in my video, you're going to get off of, get off the tender there, and there is an information booth right there. So if you're not clear on it or you want additional information, you can go ahead and ask the people working at that booth. If you just want to get off, walk around the town and do a little bit of shopping, that is really straightforward and maybe a block over from where you get off the tender there. So just go across the street and start walking, and you will come to lots of shops, restaurants, bars. The Newport Museum, the Newport History Museum is right over there. Lots to see there. But if you want to go on the trolley, you come off of the tender. There's a main street running perpendicular to it there, and you just turn to your left and walk down until you see the aquarium. Right past the aquarium, the address there, they call it 23 America's Cup, is where their different trolleys come. That's where they had some of the buses for the excursions for people, and it is also where that free trolley comes. Now, we got into port at 7 o'clock in the morning. The mansions that I wanted to visit opened at 10, so I was getting over to that area at about 9:30. The tender, by 9 o'clock, there was not a long line. I happened to be elite, so I just went to the Michelangelo dining room and didn't have to wait long, and we were able to get off. However, if you're not elite, then you go to the Explorers Lounge, you ask for a ticket, and when they call your number, you go. But the wait was not long by 9 o'clock. Now, so I was over there at about 9:30, and so everyone is getting in the line to get on those trolleys, and they filled up really quick. And I asked the gentleman how long until the next one comes, and he said half an hour, probably more like 45 minutes. And I looked at the line and I thought of my time, and I pulled up Uber, and I wanted to go to Rough Point, which was the home of Doris Duke. and I wanted to go there first, and it was $7.65. So I called an Uber. They were there in about 5 minutes and took me out to Rough Point. I thoroughly enjoyed. I highly recommend going there. Now, I have been to several of the other mansions already in Newport, and Rough Point is not disappointing at all. It was absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, and where it is situated there, it is further down Bellevue Avenue than some of the other mansions are that you can visit, and it is absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend, if you haven't been there before, go. You can buy your ticket when you get there, or you can buy it in advance. And I knew that I had already looked at that and I knew how to buy it. I didn't buy the ticket until I was on my way in case something unexpected happened that day and I wasn't able to go. So off I went, and so when I got there, they have an app that you can download. It's called the Newport Restoration Foundation, and it goes through all of the rooms. You can enjoy hearing about the objects in the room, the whole room. Very interesting. Highly recommend that, and then go out and enjoy the beautiful view. It's spectacular. Now, the cliff walk goes along there, and you can do the cliff walk either with a tour guide, or you can just walk on the cliff walk, which goes on the seaside of all of the mansions down along Bellevue there. It's absolutely beautiful. I didn't do that, but I've done it before. Then I decided just to walk. And so I walked down Bellevue. It is beautiful, beautiful mansions, beautiful like walls made out of different things. There's trees that are beautiful, and it was such a beautiful day. So I walked down, went to Marble House. I had been there before. It was really nice to see. I will add that when I got out to Rough Point at that time, there was one other guest, and then some other people came. So it was not crowded at all. At Marble House, it was more crowded. Not so much that you couldn't enjoy it, but there were a lot more people there. When I was done there, I went out to the trolley stop, and the trolleys were coming by, but they kept being full of people. And I talked to someone else that had been there for a while, and she's like, yeah, everyone that comes is full. So I waited for another one to come. It was full. So I just called an Uber again, and that was just over $8 and took me right back down to the center area. And I walked around, visited some shops, and I went to the visitor center and asked where's a good place for a lobster roll. And so she told me how to get there. So I have some video of it, but you walk back towards the wharf, and once you get to right where the pier is for the tender, just keep walking down that street that is that goes right along the tour towards the ocean. Right along the whole little harbor area there towards the ocean. At the very end is a place called the Lobster Shack. And apparently it's very popular. They sell lobster and other kind of fish, but I was there for the lobster roll. They had two kinds, and I know it depends on market rate on lobster. So when I was there, you could either get a 6-ounce lobster roll for $32 that has, it said bigger pieces of meat, or you could get the chick size, which is 3 ounces of lobster meat, and it was $20. So I got that and the lobster bisque. The lobster bisque was $8, just so you know, as you're planning your budget. And there was so much lobster meat on my lobster roll. It was perfect. It was delicious. No complaints at all. I could not have eaten more. And the lobster bisque was absolutely extraordinary. It was absolutely delicious. So I highly recommend that place. Now, when it came time to get back in the line, when I was walking over the Lobster Shack, my intent had been to eat there. It's one of those places that's just super local, has picnic tables with a cover, and you're right there by the water. So I was going to just sit down and eat. But when I was walking over, that's where the line for the tender snakes around to. It was a really, really long line. So I thought I better get my food to go. The last tender was going to go at 4 o'clock. And if you haven't cruised before, really the rule is that as long as you're in that line, by the time the last tender goes, you're okay. But if the last tender really went at 4 o'clock, don't get in line at 4 o'clock. So I decided that I should go ahead and get in line. And it was 1 hour and 20 minutes of standing in line waiting for the tender to come. They were running, I believe at the time they were running 4 princess tenders. And then there was another ship that they had, another boat that they had contracted with to take people back and forth. And I'd gotten to ride that morning over on that boat, which was really fun. But then also they were also running, but it was just super busy. There were a lot of people that wanted back on all at about the same time. So be aware, you might have to wait in line for a long time there with the tenders. But the ride back was beautiful, and we did end up leaving a little bit late. We were supposed to leave, you know, they say that the all aboard is at 4:30, the last tender leaves at 4, and we sail shortly after. And we were, I don't think we went until maybe 20 after 5 or so, but the sail away was beautiful. And so if you missed it, go ahead and do that. Now there's a few things. Let me make sure I told you everything here about it. I told you everything. So if you have any questions about going to Newport, let me know. Some fun things like the church is there, that John F. Kennedy and Jacqueline Kennedy, where they got married, is right there in Newport, Rhode Island. And it is a beautiful, beautiful city. You can either do the excursion, or else you can walk a lot and see an awful lot on your own if you just want to walk. There is just so much to see there. I highly recommend going. Oh, there's the trolley down there. So when you get off the ship, you take the tender. Once the tender docks, there's that little information center, and then you just hang a left and walk down the main street here on the sidewalk. See the aquarium right there? That's where we're going. Aquatic Island Adult Learning Center. That's what it says on it as well. And here's the Marriott. With brick anymore. Thank you. Such a beautiful day.
Shopping is in here? Yeah. Oh, okay.
For everybody that likes to shop, go back this way. So this is what they show online. This is not. Over here, you wait for number 67. So this is where I was just walking, so hang a left when you come around the corner. Oh, this must be the line. beautiful here. There's a camel topiary. I think it's 2 camels. How beautiful. I should.
There's 2 beautiful gardens. One's a flower garden way out that way, just out, outside a little bit to the right, to the more you exit. Yeah. And then the other one is over here. It's a vegetable garden. Oh, it's the kitchen garden.
trees. this works.
One more little thing you want to look at. Absolutely. And there's two beautiful gardens. One's a flower garden, it's way out that way, just out, outside a little bit to the lake, where you exit. Yeah. And then the other one is over here. It's a vegetable garden. Oh, it's the kitchen garden.
If you have any questions about the Emerald Princess, please let me know, and I will look forward to seeing you all again really soon. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.